flow over me. Clear my eyes that I might see. Spirit flow over you, and know that you are spirit too. We are floating in a spirit wind, never knowing where we'll fall. Carried far from where we began, and that's the beauty of it all. Spirit flow over me. Clear my eyes that I might see. Spirit flow over you, and know that you are spirit too. We alone determine where we stand, back to back or face to face. Everyone will surely take up arms, some to fight, some to embrace. Spirit flow over me. Clear my eyes that I might see. Spirit flow over you, and know that you are spirit too. The spirit flow over me. Clear my eyes that I might see. Spirit flow over you, and know that you are spirit too. And know that you are spirit too. And know that you are spirit too.
when a new idea's born. It's there in the room when you wake on Christmas morn. It's happiness squared times ecstasy. It's a moment of unity
welcome to the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living right here in Paoli, Pennsylvania. We are so happy you're with us this morning. Wherever you may be in the world, whether it's warm or cold, most places right now seem to be pretty cold. So welcome. We're going to warm things up today. And wherever you may be on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome here with us. So thank you for joining us today. I'm Maxine Kaye, and it is my great privilege to be the spiritual leader of this beloved community. And so whether you are part of our physical community or a part of our global community, you are a very important part of our community. Thank you for being here. And we love being a very important part, as every Center for Spiritual Living is, of the greater family of Centers for Spiritual Living, which are all over the world. As a matter of fact, just this past week, we had our Centers for Spiritual Living virtual convention. And so it was great to be with our beloveds and to hear very inspiring talks and great music and feeling as though we are, as indeed we truly are, a part of something greater. But right here, it's pretty great too. And our Centers for Spiritual Living have mission statements, vision statements, which are very important to us and are very meaningful to us as well, because we know that what we are about here is we are creating, we are awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. Isn't that a great statement? This has been our statement for so many years, and it came right out of a ministers' meeting that we had many, many years ago in Montana. And the ministers were in one room together day after day, coming up with ideas and thoughts and feelings and passionate thoughts and experiences about what we were really about, what we're here to do. And then one day, because we'd missed a dinner, we'd missed a trip, we were not going anywhere until we got this statement. And it suddenly came out of the mouth of one of our ministers, and I don't even remember who it was at this point. And the room got quiet. And we realized what we truly are about is awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And a lot of people, have you noticed, don't realize that they are spirit, much less magnificent spirit. So we have delightful work to do. It is good work with a capital W to help people awaken to who they are, truly are. And we have another statement which means a lot to us as well, because what we're here to do is to create a world that works for all, that works for everyone. We have different perspectives about what that would look like, but as long as we stay aligned with the divine intention, which is the basic initial harmony, peace, and cooperative spirit of humanity, it ultimately will work for everyone, step by step. You know, as they say, yard by yard, it might be hard, but inch by inch, it's a cinch. So we're all working together with joy, because that is a motivating quality. You'll hear more about that after a while. And we have in our Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living a purpose statement, and many of you know it. And we're going to flash it up right there on the screen. Will you join me in saying, living, loving, learning, spirituality that works. And now we're going to have a wonderful opening song. It's Songs of Joy, really based on J.S. Bach, and John Williams had a hand in it. And it's brought to you by the Troy High School Symphonic Band.
light a candle.
Hello, hello, kids. Sorry we didn't get to quite finish that music because it was really great. We'll have another opportunity at another time. So I'm going to talk to the kids now. This is the last Sunday of February. We've had so many things to address and to embody and to talk about. We had Valentine's Day. We had well, all month we've been focusing on Black history, which has been really enlightening and connective in many ways. We also began what's called the Lenten season that many of our Christian churches observe, where there's something that we stay away from and something we embody as we get closer to the Easter celebration of rising up. And what we tend to do in the Lenten season is to, well, sort of fast from negativity and feast on God. So our thought is powerful. You know that. Those of you who have been in our Sunday school in person were taught that, and you recognize that it always was true, and you were being reminded by our teachers. So we have this divine presence. Most people call it God, call it love, infinite mind, spirit, divine life. And it's so loving, and it's so giving, and it lives within each one of us. Why? Because we were created out of it, right? And there's a power within us that everybody has, without exception. And we utilize this power. We allow ourselves to be motivated by it, to be lifted up by it, because also this whole month has been about motivation. What gets us up in the morning? What gets us excited about what we're doing throughout our day and in our lives? And so the power within us, we can use. We can use it for good as it was intended to be used, or we can get a little bit confused and use it in a different way. And you might notice as you look around at some of the events in the world that people have been using it in the wrong way, but you see, that can't last. None of the challenges out here in the world can continue because they are not based in truth. The truth is, this world is a world of harmony, a world of peace, because underlying everything, no matter what else is going on, there is God's love, God's harmony, God's peace. And we are in the process of awakening to it and returning to that awareness. Now, there was an experiment, a scientific experiment some time ago, and you may have heard about this, where people focused their thought on two plants. One plant here, one plant there, both of them planted in the same soil. They both got the same amount of water, the same amount of sunshine, but one plant was focused upon with negative thoughts. The other plant was focused upon with loving, positive thoughts. Grow, grow, you're beautiful, look at you grow, how wonderful, you have everything you need, come on, that's motivating. The other one was not motivated. The other one had terrible things said to it, and it withered and died. Same water, same sunshine, same soil. But the other one that thrived was given love. It was motivated by love and joy and let's go. And isn't it wonderful to know if this works with plants? You know, many of you have pets, puppies, cats, whatever else you have in your aquarium, I don't know. But it does make a difference. You have seen the difference, haven't you? When you lovingly speak to your pet and love it and encourage it to be as wonderful as you know it already is. And you do that well. I know you do. I've seen you do that. Can you imagine then what kind of influence this might have on people, on your family members, on your school chums, on your friends you play with after school? So I think you got the message, which is let us keep our attention, our thoughts, our feelings, our words on that which is life-affirming, that which is loving, cheerful, enthusiastic, that which brings great good into our world. Now, I don't need to tell you that because you already knew it, but I thought I'd tell you anyway, just in case your parents were listening. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, kids. Right. Now it's meditation time. Let's pause in the busyness of our day. Let's take a deep, sacred breath of life, breathing in all that is good, all that is holy, all that is love, and all that is wisdom. And then in the exhalation, let go of anything that may have felt divisive or limiting, anything less than our great joy in being alive in spirit. Let it go. Let's take another holy breath and feel spirit circulating through our physical body temples, through our emotions, through our minds, bringing us to a sense of balance, a feeling of harmony, homeostasis, returning to that natural balance that is always and ever the truth of our being. And here in this place, there is peace. And here in this place, there are infinite possibilities. We're being one with the presence as we all are, awakens us to the power that is ours to use. And we use it with delight. We focus our attention right now on the most loving feelings, the highest, most productive thoughts, and recognize that this is our natural way of being. This is how we were created to be. And anything less than that or other than that is something somebody made up. It never was the truth about us. Here and now, in this holy presence, we are peace. We are joy. We are love. We are wisdom. For all of the qualities of the divine are within expressing through us right now in this precious moment. And so as we come even more deeply into our hearts, we rest in the sweet awareness that there is God and nothing else. And so if there is a question in your mind or a concern in your heart, bring it to this loving center right now and listen, listen, listen in the sacred silence to the answer. And Spirit always says yes, yes, yes. And here the answer is given either now in this instant or in the moments or hours to come. How grateful we are that the divine always answers, always lifts, always motivates us with joy and delight. All is well.
Eating out one day, I heard somebody say that things ain't the same anymore. He said, I work 3 times as hard for that car rusting in the yard like my dreams, hanging with nowhere to go. You think you got the blues, extra, extra, read all about it. Listen up, I got some news. We got joy. We got sunny mountain tops. We got each and every one of us to sing and dance together. We got joy. Yeah. We got so much love to bring. We got joy, joy, joy. Joy, 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 we got joy.
Thank you. That was delightful, Faith. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce to you our practitioner of the day, Nettie Bonner.
Good morning. As Dr. Maxine said, I'm Nettie Bonner, and I'm a practitioner with the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living. It's my great pleasure to offer the opening treatment this morning. So I'm going to start with a few quotes, very short quotes, but ones I love. The first is my favorite. It's from Teilhard de Chardin. Joy is the most infallible sign of the presence of God. The second quote is from Isaiah, chapter 35, verse 10. Gladness and joy will overtake them, and sorrow and sighing will flee away. And from our beloved Ernest Holmes in the Science of Mind textbook, everything necessary to the full and complete expression of the most boundless experience of joy is mine now. And the last quote is from Dr. Roger Teal, an eminent religious science minister, in an April 2015 Science of Mind magazine. And by the way, he has also authored a book called Life is Joy. When I say this life is joy, I'm saying the basic essence of life is the spirit, and the spirit is joy. It's celebrating itself as everything that we are, as everything around us. So as I state this treatment in the first person, I invite you to take it as your own if you wish. There is only one power, one presence in the universe, and that power is a power for good. It is a power for peace, beauty, abundance, wisdom, guidance, and joy. All this goodness is the only truth in the universe. And because I am made of and from this presence and this power, this truth is mine now. I am filled with the presence and spirit of beauty and joy. And I live my life knowing and remembering that joy is my birthright. When I wake in the morning, I remind myself that today is a glorious day of joy. And delight and goodness permeate every minute of my day. This presence and power of good is mine throughout the day, and I pause often to reflect on this truth in my life now. If I find myself veering towards thoughts of worry and feelings of sorrow, I stop myself and say, my birthright is joy, and that is the truth of me. And I see this joy in those around me. I spread my joy to those around me, and collectively we lift the world into a world that is lighter, that is joy, that is delight, that is gratitude. And I am so grateful for this truth in my life, this truth of life itself. I release my word to the law, knowing it is already done. It is the truth, it is so, and so it is.
Thank you, Nettie. That was wonderful. And we have an affirmation to follow that. Will you join me in saying, the joy of God fills me to overflowing, and I am guided, directed, and motivated to live fully and happily today. Well, this is the last Sunday of February, and we are completing our February theme, which is motivation. And of course, our theme for the whole year here at the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living is building a new consciousness. That's my consciousness, your consciousness, our consciousness. We are building a new one, and we have been looking at ways to be motivated to do that. And so I am always motivated by The Discipline of Delight, a book that I read so many years ago by Arnold Michael. And that gave me the idea for today's topic, the discipline of delight. Now, along with the other wonderful quotes that Nettie shared with us, I have one from Raymond Charles Barker in his marvelous book, The Power of Decision. Joy is the inside of the cup, and happiness is the outside. Drink deeply of the mental draught, which is life itself. Wow. You see, we don't go around chasing for happiness. We recognize that joy is an attribute of God, and that you and I came fully blown from this beautiful presence, which contains all of the divine attributes, and they're ours, and we live them as well when we get in touch with our true divine nature. So I have a friend who many, many years ago, a minister friend, said, discipline is loving yourself enough to do what is good for you. Now that's a whole different way of looking at it, isn't it? I love the word discipline. And you know, the root word, disciple, I want my physical, emotional, and mental persona to be disciples to the presence of the divine, the Christ consciousness within me. I want to follow that with all my heart. I love discipline. I love the idea of doing what is good for me, which is why some of you know how many crunches I do every week. And I love it, and it feels good, and it's delightful. I'm motivated by the joy of doing it. I am motivated to put in my body the foods that I know are healthy and good and uplifting, with a little something here and there that's just for fun. And so we follow our hearts. We follow that divine wisdom within us that teaches us, this is for my good. This is for the greater good of all the people around me. This is for the greater good of the world itself. You see, we have the capacity to choose happiness or sadness. But happiness is something that is a result of the joy. It's not an item or an entity of its own. It is a result of us entering into the discipline of delight. And so that choice brings health, it brings creativity, it brings love, it brings abundance. Delight, I want you to hear this now. Delight, like gratitude, is causative. It is causative. When I'm grateful, when I'm appreciative for something, I am sending out an energy to this divine universe that I am grateful and I am open to receive more. When I send out the energy of delight, I am already going beyond whatever the condition may be that may be challenging to me. So this delight being causative, let me tell you a story that actually Arnold Michael told me back in the 70s in his book. It's about a Zen Buddhist monk. He was walking along with his student, and they had their packs on their back as they're walking along the trail. And the student asks him, "How do we have dominion over our lives?" And the monk didn't say a word. He simply took off his pack and put it down. And that was indicating the need to put down any burdens or sense of limitation. And the student got that. So then he asked, how may we remove our burdens and limitations? Again, the monk said nothing, but picked up his backpack and walked down the path singing joyfully. What is he telling us? He's indicating that we begin the change by using the power right in the middle of our challenges. It's not, okay, well, when I get over this, I'll be happy again. Right now, in the middle of the challenge, is the time to bring the discipline of delight. He's walking down, like whether I have my pack on my back or have set it down, I have every reason to experience the joy of God, and I have the choice to do that. See, that's something that a lot of us haven't yet come to realize. Being joyful and praising the power within us opens us to that transformative experience that we are ready to have. Letting the power then remove what needs to be removed. I don't have to do it. All I have to do is engage with the power, give thanks for it, delight in it, and let it remove whatever burden I may have been experiencing. Isn't that great news? Delight doeth the work. That's actually Arnold Michaels' mantra, and I love it. Delight doeth the work. I make my choice, and the power and the presence within me is that which makes the difference. We've got to begin where? Right where we are. In the midst of pain, do you know you can feel peace? Are you aware that when we employ this discipline of delight, that in the middle of illness, we can start delighting in our wholeness? In the middle of loneliness, we can begin to delight in the eternal presence of love that is the reality of each and every one of us. In the middle of lack, we can start delighting in opulence because it's true, it's eternal. The lack, the limitation is very temporary. It has nothing to do with the truth. And we want to speak the truth on our tongue, as Emma Curtis Hopkins taught us to do. In the midst of frustration, anybody here ever be in the midst of frustration? In the midst of frustration, we can delight in divine creativity. This is a universe of creative, intelligent activity. And you and I were brought forth in this same capability, the same awareness that we are co-creators with the universe. We have always been creative. We may have forgotten a few things about that, but now let's remember. Let's remember that these are clear, powerful invitations to the truth. In the midst of this, I can experience a greater truth. Some of you have seen me do this little dance between the relative and the absolute. This is the relative. All of you on this side of the auditorium are living in the relative, which means it's done to me. Not much I can do about that. Look what's happening in the world. And then there's the absolute, which is there is a presence and there is a power that is within me and within all sentient beings. And it has the capability to bring me out of the relative and into the absolute, where I am alive in life. And all sentient beings are alive in life. And all sentient beings have the power of choice. And the choice is to remember the presence and the power within me, and to utilize it for good. Remember what Ernest Holmes said. There is a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it. And you can use it. See, God is everything, everywhere, all loving, all giving, all wise, abundant, healthy, whole, complete. That's not some little being, a big being up in the sky. Don't forget the beard and the black book and the making notes and all that. You know what? I'm so grateful. I have never had that God in my consciousness. I am so grateful to have been brought up in this beautiful philosophy and teaching. I knew from the time I entered my first Sunday school experience that God is love and God is present, and I can count on it. What can you count on? You know, I was thinking the other day how a lot of lingering challenges are taking place within the human consciousness just from having come through the years with COVID. And that I think something a lot of people are experiencing, and it shows up in different ways in their lives, is that there's somehow this pervasive feeling of, what can I trust? Yeah? And it shows up in different ways in people's behaviors. And I think it's a wonderful thing for us to take a look at that and begin to feel a delight in knowing this too shall pass. It didn't come to stay. And there is something I can trust. I absolutely rely on the presence and the power of Spirit within and all around me. I have leaned hard on life all of my life, and it has never let me down. Oh, I have been through a lot of the same experiences you have been through, and God has never let me down. I always pop up. You know, as Kennedy Schultz used to say, my dear, cream always rises. And we always rise up when we allow ourselves to enter into the joy of delight. The delight. That is like going into a dark room and turning on the light. And you see, we all are creative beings. We all have within us our creative ability. And we all have these deep desires in our hearts that must come through. When we allow the real desires of our hearts to be born into our world by keeping our attention focused on the delightful manifestation of them through the power and the presence that is within us, we are fulfilling the divine destiny, because every time that we fulfill something beautiful in our own personal lives, God's having a good time. You see, we have within us, as a beautiful instrument that we are, the capability and the responsibility, the joyous responsibility of letting God be God in us, as Meister Eckhart said. Letting God have a wonderful time. I love the discipline of delight. It's good. It's healthy. It's transformative. It changes me in an instant when I'm willing to enter into it and withdraw from the relative and enter into the absolute. And we enter into the absolute to the degree that we withdraw from the relative. But here's something else. I also like thinking about how we bring the absolute into the relative. Because when we're prayed up, and we've had our morning meditations, and we've done our spiritual mind treatment, and we've praised and raised everybody that we know, and those we don't know, then we have the opportunity to enter into a sense of unity with all, a sense of possibility for all. We begin to see more clearly who that person truly is. What is possible in that temporary condition? I bring the delight. And when I bring the delight, something wonderful happens. My desires, and look at the word desire, desire. D is of, in almost any language, right? Sire, father. I am father to my experience. Because as I speak my word and I'm filled with passion and acceptance, both the delight and the joy of this wonderful thing coming into being, whether it's health or wealth or creativity or love, when I am in that beautiful creative space, I am creating through my conscious choice. And that's the same as the Father within, the conscious choice. So every good desire, and I began my first few years from birth to almost age 10 in the Unity Sunday School, which they also teach about the love and the presence of God. And Ernest Wilson, see, you got to be earnest to be a really good leader. Ernest Holmes, Ernest Wilson. Ernest Wilson was the wonderful pastor of that very large Christ Church Unity in Los Angeles. And I can remember seeing him, and one of the wonderful things that we always did in that church was that the children would come in with the parents, and then the children would have an opportunity to request a song. And we would sing that song with the whole congregation, and then we'd scoot off to our own Sunday school, Funday school classes. I always knew that God was love. I always knew that I was here very much on purpose. And Ernest Wilson wrote a book called Every Good Desire. I think that's wonderful. Just the title, Every Good Desire, is implanted within our hearts in order for God to express through us and to make beautiful things happen in our world, our personal world, our global experience, and there's much to do there. But we cannot be dismayed by it. We must be inspired by the presence and the power that knows what to do by means of each of us. Do you realize how essential you are to the forward movement of this life, to the greater experience of building a new consciousness? We are motivated by joy. We are motivated by delight. Clear, wise, inner choices bring joy and wonder into our world. It's already there. This morning, as I was going into meditation, I looked out at our patio, and there, all the birds flying around and enjoying their breakfast buffet, there was a cardinal, beautiful red cardinal. And I thought, this is the expression of one of the main attributes of the divine, which is beauty. It's beauty. And isn't it wonderful to realize that the beauty that we see out here, which is an attribute of God, is an outer manifestation of the beauty that's within us, which is an attribute of God. Do you know who you are? It's time we all awakened to being spiritually magnificent. That is our reality. A joyful countenance is a great motivator. A great motivator. It works for me. And the art of living is the art of deliberate delight. Not just, oh, gee, that was nice, I'm delighted. No, it's deliberate delight. It's what I bring to it. It is my conscious choice. This last week, as I mentioned earlier, was the Centers for Spiritual Living virtual convention. How wonderful it is to be a part of something greater. Everyone doing our own divine work, our own spiritual exercises, and coming together with a greater idea, not only for our individual centers, but for the world itself. This is a very healthy, forward-thinking, moving organization, and we are thrilled to be a part of it. I am thrilled that we each have our divine mission here, and that we're not doing it alone. We're part of a greater whole, and it's wonderful. I want to read to you a poem that I just recently came across, and I don't even know the author, but I love the title. It's called The Worst Thing. You ready to hear about the worst thing? The worst thing we ever did was put God in the sky, out of reach, pulling the divinity from the leaf, sifting out the holy from our bones, insisting God isn't bursting dazzlement through everything we've made a hard commitment to see as ordinary, stripping the sacred from everywhere to put a cloud man elsewhere, prying closeness from your heart. The worst thing we ever did was take the dance and the song out of prayer, make it sit up straight and cross its legs, removed it of rejoicing, wiped clean its hip sway, its questions, its ecstatic yowl, its tears. The worst thing we ever did is pretend God isn't the easiest thing in this universe, available to every soul in every breath. See, you are alive with the life of spirit. Health is your natural state. Prosperity is your natural state. Love is your natural state. Creativity is your natural state. The power is yours to use. Cheerfulness is causative. Delight is your open sesame to a wonderful life. Delight doeth the work. So will you say with me, I'm alive with God's life.
I'm alive with God's life.
I delight in the power that delights in me.
I delight in the power that delights in me.
I delight in my wholeness.
I delight in my wholeness.
I delight in my abundance.
I delight in my abundance.
I delight in my love and my loving.
I delight in my love and my loving.
I delight in my creative talents.
I delight in my creative talents.
Delight doeth the work.
Delight doeth the work.
And so, my beloveds, beginneth our lesson. Thank you, loved ones. Thank you. And so, it's the time of our offertory. I love our offertory. It delights me. It delights me to share my abundance, which is God's abundance given so freely to me, with this beloved center. And if this is also a close source of supply to you, thank you for contributing and doing your part to add to the prosperity of not only you and our center, but the universe itself. That's how it works. So let's say together our prosperity celebration. I choose to celebrate prosperity. Divine love blesses my gift. It is my acceptance of God as the source of my abundant supply. With joy and gratitude, I share my abundance with this center. In doing so, I am one with the law of circulation. My tithe goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It returns to me multiplied abundantly, and I am prospered, and so it is.
Peace for all seasons. Love every moment. Light shines wherever we are. Faith in the darkness. Hope in the silence. Joy, sweet joy in our hearts. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Every day is a choice to show some kindness. We all are part of one family, yeah. So connected, our hearts and spirit. I reach out for you, you reach out for me. Now peace for all seasons, love every moment. Light shines wherever we are. Faith in the darkness, hope in the silence. Joy, joy in our hearts. Now is the time to come together to count our blessings. We are grateful. We lift our voices in one chorus. My brothers, my sisters, let's celebrate. Now peace for all seasons, love every moment. Light shines wherever we are. Faith in the darkness, hope in the silence. Joy, joy in our hearts. Oh yeah. Talking about joy. Give a little bit of faith and hope. Let's celebrate peace. Let's celebrate love. Let's celebrate light that shines. Shine, shine, shine. Let's celebrate faith. Let's celebrate hope. Let's celebrate joy. Joy in our hearts. Now peace for all seasons. Love every moment. Light shines wherever we are. Faith in the darkness, hope in the silence. Joy, joy in our hearts. Oh, peace for all seasons. Love every moment. Light shines.
Good morning. Thanks for the jazzy intro. My name is Monet. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees.
Yay!
Thank you. Dr. Maxine, thank you so much for that talk. It was wonderful. I love discipline is loving yourself enough to do what is good for you, which reminds me of a quote from Joe Clark that says, discipline is not the enemy of enthusiasm. Yes. We'd like to give special thanks to Margie Donovan for sponsoring this Sunday. This is an honor for 30 plus years of learning the science of mind philosophy with her beloved Rev. Dr. Maxine. Thanks, Dr. Maxine, for your teaching, which is making a great difference in this world. I'm going to highlight our upcoming classes and workshops. For all details and to register, just go to our website, cslphilly.org, and click on the pop-up screen or go to the events calendar. So Dr. Maxine is offering a 2-hour Fear to Faith workshop on Monday, February 27th, which is tomorrow, from 6:30 to 8:30 Eastern Time on Zoom. I will be attending that. I love it. Honestly, working through the 4 kingdoms, which I know this is part of, has honestly helped me get through the sudden death of my uncle. And so thank you. I love your classes, and Reverend Mike as well. Dr. Maxine is also offering a 4-week workshop entitled Creative Relationships on Tuesday, March 7th, 14th, 21, and 28th on Zoom from 6:30 to 8:30. If there is sufficient interest in an in-person afternoon class, we will meet from 2:30 to 4:30 here at the Inspiration Cafe in Paoli, Pennsylvania. Reverend Mike is offering a 10-week accredited class entitled Life is a Journey, Not a Destination, A Journey in Consciousness with Ralph Waldo Emerson, excuse me, beginning this Thursday, March 2nd at 6:30 to 9:30, oh, I'm sorry, 6:30 to 9 Eastern Time. And Reverend Mike will actually talk to you a bit more about that when I'm done with the announcements. And finally, Cheryl Macklin is leading a 7-week Good Grief support group in person here at the Inspiration Cafe, starting on Wednesday, March 15th from 7 to 8:30 in Paoli. And again, if you'd like to join any of our classes or workshops, please go to our website, cslphilly.org, and click on the link on the pop-up screen on the homepage. Our next in-person celebration will be held in Eagleville on March 19th at 10:30. And in addition, we invite you to arrive at 10 for our morning meditation time. If you are watching and enjoy our Sunday celebrations and love notes on our Facebook or YouTube channel, please be sure to like and subscribe and share with others. And when you subscribe, you will receive notifications anytime visits are uploaded. And that is today's announcement. Thank you so much. And now bring to you Rev Mike.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Isn't she a delight? And I got to tell you, we are so fortunate to have Reverend Dr. Maxine as our spiritual leader. There is none finer. So, anybody ever heard of Ralph Waldo Emerson?
Yes.
Okay, a few people have. Back in the olden days, it was a requirement as a high school student to take Ralph Waldo Emerson. We're talking about my dad's ages. So it's been a long, long time ago. And some of you might kind of think that that's out of touch, and that you've heard that he was the founder of the Transcendental Movement. So what is that? What does that relate to me? Why should I be taking this class? I'll give you an idea as to how it might relate to you. Have you ever said, I'm more spiritual than religious? Then this class relates to you. Because Transcendentalism and Ralph Waldo Emerson brought God from out there to in here. He taught that divinity is within humanity and within all of nature. And he said to reject dogma, reject doctrine, and find the truth of spirit within yourself. We'll be going through several of Ralph Waldo Emerson's essays. And if you want to learn to rely on that spiritual self within you, please come and join us. Now, you may not have a copy of his essays, but go online, you can get them for free, and we can work with that. So if you happen to have my readers, that's great, but they're not really necessary. It's just more convenient for you. So I hope to see you this Thursday night. But you have to register by going to the main page. And on the main page, there's a block in the center, and that you want to click on the link to the class and register today, soon, because we want to know you're coming. That's all for me. Thanks.
Yay! You don't want to miss this class. And those of you who have taken classes with Reverend Mike know he's a really good teacher. You will learn a lot. You will feel close to the people in your class, and it will be a great experience. Okay, now it is time for our closing song called Joy Overflowing by Daniel Nahmod.
When I smile, it's the joy overflowing from you. When I smile, that's the joy overflowing from you. What can I say? How can I thank you for the day? Oh God, my blessings are overflowing now. When I cry, it's the love overflowing from you. When I cry, that's the love overflowing from you. What can I say? How can I thank you for the day? Oh God, my blessings are overflowing now. No words, no words. You already know the secrets of my soul, 'cause I'm a part of you. No words, no words. You're the sacred truth in everything I see and everything I ever do. When I sing, it's the song overflowing from you. When I sing, that's the song overflowing from you. What can I say? How can I thank you for the day? Oh God, my blessings are overflowing. My blessings are overflowing. My blessings are overflowing.
Thank you, dear ones, for being with us today. Have a beautiful week. Let's jump into classes. And so this is what we know, that the one life, the presence and the power divine is expressing in, through, and each one of us. We make conscious, clear, wonderful, loving, compassionate, and wise choices, and we delight. That delight doeth the work. And so it is.